get down.
Hello again. So we had the mic muted there for a second, but I'm back and live tonight. We are going to be doing some custom reservoir work tonight. I've been teasing you guys with some pictures on Facebook, and I've got one of them done. I have two custom reservoirs I'm going to be putting in my custom test bench if you've been following that at all. But tonight I will be putting together the second one. I kind of just made the first one as an example. So I guess I could kind of just go over the little video I made on that. I'm actually going to be making much more just like, I guess not exactly in-depth, but just a video on how to do this exactly, as well as this stream. So if anybody can't stay for the whole thing or anything like that, or just need a reference for later, I should have that up this weekend after I get these guys painted, because they're technically almost done, not quite finished up, but we're getting there. So I guess I'll just start with showing you guys how I've gotten to this point, and maybe it would be best to show you guys how or why I make these reservoirs and where I start with it. So let's see. So I actually just draw these up in Inventor. However, you don't need to do this. I get the acrylic cut at PPCs on our laser, so that's pretty easy to do as far as one of these reservoirs go, just because it's actually just a bunch of square pieces. So all you would technically have to do for us to cut out your custom reservoir to whatever size that you wanted is just give us the dimensions that you need of the sides, or of all the sides and the overall reservoir, and we can usually go from there. Like I sent this to Jeremy. Let's see. Yeah, this is the drawing that I gave to Jeremy, and I just gave him the dimensions of the sides, and we just kind of went from there. To get in touch with our mod shop, it's just, I guess I could put this in all the chat, but it's mod-proshop@performancepcs.com. So, and if you wanted to, what's up here over there? If you wanted to do a reservoir, we definitely recommend using our 5mm cast acrylic. We don't have extruded, which is something that you usually don't want to use for reservoirs, but 5mm seems to work best for me. I suppose you could use 3mm, it would work just the same. I feel like it's a little bit nicer to have the thick stuff to work with though, as far as reservoirs go, and I'll kind of share with you guys more on that later. But if you guys even need help with some of this kind of design, even just figuring out what size reservoir you want to make, you can always hit me up and I can try to help you guys out, figure out what you want to make and what files to give to our mod shop so we can get the pieces sent out to you. But overall, these it was like 40 bucks total, so 20 bucks a piece for Jeremy to cut these out, and obviously the cost of acrylic is factored into that as well. So really not that bad considering, I mean, I'll show you how big they are, but I think I made them to fit about 3/4 of a liter, so they're actually kind of, they kind of hold a lot of coolant as far as a reservoir goes. Usually you don't need that much, but I'll move on to the video that I made of, or just kind of the time lapse I made of what I did to make this reservoir, because as you can see, it's just sent to me as just pieces. So this is actually what I'll be doing tonight, is gluing the second one together, because this is honestly probably the most difficult part, and I can give you guys a few pointers and tips, but as long as you just take your time and you know, have steady hands, I guess, is a requirement, you should be able to put one of these together pretty simply. I'll show you the glue I use as well. We sell some acrylic glue on PPCs, and I use both types actually, but I'll give you more details on that, and definitely in the video that I put up this weekend on YouTube of how to do this will, like I said, be a little more in depth, and I'll cover the steps even more. But this is just gluing all the sides together, and I literally glue every seam like 2 or 3 times, and I probably won't be doing that much tonight. We'll get it put together and stuff, but I sit there and it probably takes a good hour or two, because you have to probably wait a good 10 minutes between each seam that you glue for it to dry, so you don't have glue running everywhere. Obviously I cut it out in between here for this video, but it's not too bad as far as actual work going into this is. It's, like I said, just patience, and then eventually you just end up having to do a lot of sanding, which is what I'm doing now in the video. The tops of the sides weren't all quite even, so I did have to even that up. So having like a palm sander or something is really nice to take off material without like losing your arm. Then after I got it pretty well sanded, it's all pretty much smooth, like you can't feel the seams anymore. I go back and I re-glue all the seams on the outside, usually like twice again, and then I sand that down as well afterwards. I'd probably go overboard on the gluing, but I feel like it'd be way better to use too much glue and then just sand off the excess. That way you just know that all those seams are completely watertight. This is my second reservoir that I made. This one's waterproof so far, and the last one that I made has never had a leak either. So it's actually seeming to work pretty well. But like I said, I'd probably go a little overboard on the glue. You guys can try it yourself. So there I'm just tapping the G-quarter ports. And if you want, I would suggest having Jeremy cut out the ports on the laser for you, just because otherwise you need an 11.8 millimeter drill bit. I have one of those. I can link you the one I got. That works. However, for tapping holes, you have to make sure that if you're going to be drilling the holes yourself, you want them to be perfectly straight. Otherwise, you won't be able to tap the hole straight, and then you can usually expect it to leak from that point, just because your O-ring's not going to make a seal. Oh, Irritable Bear is Gerald. Of course it is. I'm hanging out in Discord too, dude. So, let's see. I got Facebook open too, somewhere. We're almost through this video here. That RGB PPC logo is nice. Thanks, Jason. But now I'm just tapping the top holes, which is just the same as all the other ones. As long as the holes are drilled straight, tapping it's really pretty easy. That tap I got was like $8, I think, on Amazon. Just search G1/4 BSP tap, and it should come up. They're cheap. And then I suppose if you don't have a tap wrench, you could also pick up one of those. I borrowed that one from my dad. It's like my grandpa's from like 100 years ago, but it works. So finally I go over that top. I glued the top on, but then I also go over it with another layer of glue, the heavier 16 weight glue here. This is what we actually sell at PPCs. We don't have the more liquid stuff. I could think about, or I could mention that to Hank and maybe he can get it. What's up, Matt? It got me wanting to do this. Dude, it'd be so easy. Okay, so there was the video, and as you saw, I just went over it one more time with that heavier glue, just because I think it provides definitely like the insurance that nothing's gonna actually leak at the end. So I think we can move on to putting together the one that I have tonight. Like I said, it's going to be the same exact thing as this one right here. This one's all ready to be painted. That's why I have the tape over it, because as you can see, you can actually like see the glue and the seams and stuff, and I mean, it doesn't look awful, but I on my last reservoir that I made like this, I just painted over all of this as well. So then you just end up with a clear, you know, window in the front, almost like a bay reservoir, you could say. However, I can show you how I mount it in my test bench. It literally just sits flat, and then you screw the screws in, and it looks pretty nice, and it'll look better once I get some paint on it. So I guess we can kind of just get right to it. I won't get as far as putting the top on tonight, because as I showed you in that video, I mean, unless all the sides were perfectly the right exact height, like Jeremy's laser can get really close. I don't know why that one was off a little bit. I think it was just one side that was actually a little bit off. Don't know what happened there, but it's pretty easily corrected with some sanding. So,
You don't know how to correct anything.
what's up, Jason? So Jason's on Discord with us now. Gerald doesn't want to join, apparently.
I'm riding down the road on the way home, so I figured I could come join you while I can.
No problem, dude. Thank you.
If my voice goes to sound like I'm a robot, you know.
Yeah, that's all good. So one thing you want to make sure is that the acrylic is nice and clean where you're going to be gluing it. There's a little bit of dust on these. So all these edges should be pretty much perfectly square, which is why I don't know how that one ended up not being so square. But let's see, we'll just start with one of the long sides, because all I do is I'll literally just put a little bit of glue here, a little bit of glue here, and then I use these blocks that I have that I know these corners are square and then this edge is square. So I'll just use that to keep it propped up. You really only gotta hold this glue for like maybe a minute and it's pretty much set. It's similar to the other glue. This is just 4-weight is what I always said. It's just like a way lighter glue. It's liquid. So you need one of these little dabber bottles to help apply it. But as far as that goes, it's not too hard as long as you can hold it steady. So I guess we'll just get started here. Usually I just put a little bit of glue right along here. And this stuff's kind of crazy because you'll see it like, I don't know, maybe you can't see it, but you'll see it like run everywhere. And usually the excess just pretty much just evaporates. This stuff is crazy. And I should probably be wearing some kind of mask when using it. But I...
Masks are for bitches.
Hey! Gerald's in here. So I literally... I literally just feel it with my fingers and I make sure that the edges feel flush. And that's really all you have to do. There's not much for special tools as far as making these reservoirs go. Like, I know people get those nice fancy... Oops, I slipped a little bit. People get those fancy CNC reservoirs, which are very nice. But you definitely can't make those at home unless you have a CNC machine in your garage or backyard, wherever you decide to put a CNC.
I have a CNC machine.
I know, so do I. It'd be amazing, but they're expensive, and you do need to know how to run them.
I actually live really close to a guy who uses a CNC machine to build boats.
Boat? How do you build a boat out of a CNC?
It's actually super straightforward. Because you gotta do like tack glue spots, and you gotta do glue all the way through it. It's a series of steps.
Huh. That's interesting. Shane asked, he wants a custom res for his case. We don't actually like make these for people. I've been making them. I've made one on stream. This is the next one I'll be making on stream. But yeah, I'm mainly just showing you guys how to do it. As I kind of showed you guys at the beginning, if you can get us any kind of drawings of like the dimensions that you need, we can cut out the pieces for you like I have here, and then all you do is get some glue and a tap, and you can pretty much make any kind of reservoir you want. So I think this glue is almost set up here. Like I said, it's pretty quick. Ooh, move it down a little bit. Make sure everything's flush. So it should be good right there. And I'll just run one more line of glue right here for now. Like I said, I'd probably over glue these things, but I'd rather use too much than too little and have it leak, because then you're pretty much screwed. Like, this reservoir is not going to come apart anymore. Like, you would have to use a table saw to get this thing apart. There's just purely way too much glue. But as I said, with a little bit of paint, you really kind of cover up all the seams and all the glue. And really, the sides don't ever look that terrible, in my opinion, after you get them all sanded down. I leave it kind of frosted like this. In the last reservoir, I didn't paint the sides. With this one, I think I'm just going to paint this whole thing white. And even with RGB strips next to it, it'll definitely glow. Like the other one, the RGB strips are almost too bright. Like on camera, like you couldn't even tell that there was like coolant in there. It just was like lights. So maybe that's Cable Mod's fault. Is Matt still in here? Matt, your LEDs are still too damn bright.
No, I think it's actually because of the way camera picks up light.
Yeah, that too.
UV light acts differently on like
me taking pictures of my PC, for instance.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's true.
Everything's freaking brighter than what it actually is. Like,
Yeah.
it's bright. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's really bright sitting at it, but like, it's way brighter on the camera.
No, that's for sure. So, like I said, I just want to let this set up for just a minute here. Make sure it's not like falling over.
You need to stop doing these mods because you're making me want to do it, and I don't have room in my case for this.
Dude, you can find room, like cut a hole in it.
I guess
This is super cheap though. Like I found out with this, the first reservoir I had, like I didn't get anything etched on this one. The last reservoir I had this front piece etched on the other side, so it had like the PPCs logo and like a design and whatnot. So that costs a little bit more. But if you're just straight up just getting pieces out of acrylic, like I said, this was $20, and it's a 3/4 of a liter reservoir. You can put the ports wherever you need them. If you happen to know exactly where you need the ports, just specify that in your design, and we'll laser cut out the hole for it. All you gotta do is tap it, and away you go.
I mean, you could also put it outside your case like it's a weird square Picasso tumor.
Tumor? You could just make like a new top panel that's just a reservoir instead of the top.
The funny thing is I have the Air 540, and if I move my radiator to the top of my case, I can literally take out the dust filter, and then the whole front panel cover piece that goes over the fan grill, like the fan mounting area, can be removed. And you could literally make it fit inside that area. It'd be like the whole front of my case is the reservoir.
Well, I
The
mean,
whole front section right there.
here's the thing though, the Air 540, how many hard drives you got on your back? On your back side? Because there's that little,
I don't have any in my backside, but I mean, you know.
but you got that little,
I have an SSD and like 4 mechanical 2.5 drives that I'm not using all of yet. I don't have any 3.5s in my computer at all.
well anyways, there's that little fan section area. I mean, are you crazy enough to do like the water cooling on your hard drive and your SSD?
No. No point.
Yeah, that's what I figured, but still, there's that little, you could use that little square fan there as a mounting point and have it be sort of a hidden res. Oh, no, never mind, that's for your power supply.
Yeah. I have to take a picture of it later. We can talk about it in Discord, but like, I think I know a way I could do it, and if I do it right, it would actually look relatively well, but I'd have to talk about that.
Well, these are so easy. And Shane just said he wants to get one cut by us. And dude, like I said, I definitely recommend it. It's pretty dang cheap. And all you really need is a tap. A palm sander is really nice, or a belt sander, any kind of electronic sander, just because if you're going to hand sand it, it's going to take you a while. But other than that, you really don't need much. I mean, if you don't know where you're going to put the ports and you want to wait till you get it together and put it in your system, then sure, you'll need an 11.8 millimeter drill bit, but that even itself is not that bad. That glue is like $10, and I've got plenty of glue to make probably still 2 more reservoirs. So overall, it's not too bad. And I'll give you guys like I said, like a more detailed list of everything I use in that video that I actually make on this. That'll be on YouTube. So Shane, I think, is watching on YouTube, so you'll be able to find that pretty easy too. So we got 2 sides on now. Just gonna wait another minute for that side to set up a little bit more, and then we'll put on this one. So as I said, I kind of just go along and I try to make everything as flush as I can with my fingertips. It's really hard to get it perfect, but that's where the sanding comes in. I literally just sit there and probably sand it for a good hour after I get it all together and just make it all smooth. And honestly, like with these, this is gonna be all you're gonna see in the system, or on the system, since it's a bench, is this top panel. So really, I wouldn't even need to make all these edges square because you'll never see it or feel it. But I don't know, it feels more like a finished product when it's like this, in my opinion. And having it have that frosted look to it does help a little bit with lighting it.
Yeah, it makes the diffuse the light better.
Yeah, yeah. You won't get such spotty lights from your LEDs if you do run a strip by it. I can't wait to get my stuff ordered, to get my rig cooled. This makes me want to do it even more. Yeah, Kyle, dude, thanks for stopping in, and love to see your build once you get it water cooled.
Yep.
Are you still in love with the idea of doing the roasting stream?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I want to talk more with Hank about that. I don't know. We got some viewers in here tonight, but I was thinking of we could either do it as a video or a stream. But we do like a roast your rig series where people will submit their rig, and sure we'll make fun of it, but at the end of it all, you should get like suggestions for if you wanted to improve your build at all, if you feel at all like you want to make some changes, you just don't know where to go. We can roast your rig, and you guys can take those suggestions, and I think we'd probably try to get you as like a discount code if you do submit your rig and submit yourself to that punishment. So once you do get your suggestions, you get a deal on some parts, and hopefully make some changes that you want. I don't know. I just thought it was.
I mean, it does open up a can of worms for people to get butthurt from comments, but.
Sure, but that's why, like, obviously I'm not just gonna take anybody's build. Like, if you just shared your build on Facebook, I'm not just gonna take your build and start making fun of you. I would only want people that want their rig to get made fun of. Like, I figured I'll volunteer for the first one.
But even though I can't have the discount and stuff and all the special stuff, I'll be the first volunteer.
Yeah, like I said, I would straight up volunteer my rig. I don't care. Y'all can make fun of it. I'm honestly not going to make any changes you suggest, though. I've already...
I have a radiator in here that's not even... There's no other tubing in there. It's just mounted. It's not connected to anything. It's just mounted.
It's just there, because it can be.
Yeah, it's... Basically, I'm prepping... I'm like doing preseason training on my airflow right now.
Preseason? Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
You want to be a water cooling champion, kid? Gotta work for it.
Wow. Okay, that's a whole nother type of video there, I think. So now we got two sides going up, or three sides, I mean.
The water cooling champion. It starts in a milk crate.
That'd probably be your best bet, though. The airflow. Think about it.
I mean, it would be pretty good, but it's still it's a milk crate.
So, airflow, man.
Yeah, true. I mean, what's his name? XQC or whatever, the guy who played Overwatch and got banned.
Yeah.
Oh, rip.
Yeah. He doesn't even have a case.
Who needs it?
Like, it's literally just a pile of stuff on the floor. Let me see if I can't find it.
Wow.
So we've almost got this reservoir mostly put together. I guess it really isn't extremely interesting to watch. I kind of just wanted to show you guys the process live once. As I mentioned already a couple times, the video will be more straightforward and just putting one together, but I figured some of you guys do like stopping in for the stream and seeing it happen live, so I figured I'd give you that much.
Hey, I heard Daniel gave you a picture of what his opaque gray looks like.
Yeah, he did. So hopefully soon we'll have a stream about...
I've never seen it, so...
You're going to get triggered because it's an AOC. Or AOIC. I think it's the Cooler Master, the H550 or whatever it's called.
This side's taking a little bit longer to set up. I don't want to move it because it's not quite square. Patience is key with making one of these custom reservoirs. Really, that's your most important tool. Hello, Kylo Ren. What's up, Jeffrey? You said that you might not be able to make it. I'm glad you stopped in, dude.
What, me?
No, Jeffrey did. Jeffrey said he had to work tonight, but he made it anyways.
Hey,
of course you are, Jason. You're always working. Okay.
Welcome to the stream, that is.
Oh,
yes.
Hit by Montezuma's revenge. Backlit.
Yeah, Daniel never sent me the actual picture of the gray, so I never got to see it, so that ought to be cool.
Yeah, he showed me that, and then he said he's going to be sending it to PPCs with our opaques, so hopefully that happens soon. So I'm just putting glue on the last side here.
Yep, I'm going to get my hands on the cleaner.
Yeah, that too. Don't glue your fingers together, man. That would be a bad thing. Like, This glue is so crazy, though. Like I said, dude, Oh, Daniel just tried to add me on Discord. That's funny. Well, he did, but this glue just like evaporates super quick.
really?
Yeah, because it's like I said, you gotta like. I actually had this bottle. I swear it was like half full, and the other day when I went to start in this reservoir, like most of it had evaporated out. So this stuff evaporates quick for some reason. It's just probably not friendly stuff, is what it is. Not friendly to humans, at least.
No. Well, I still really like the RGB, because RGB, all the things, you had to do that with the logo, and that's
I did that with my Discord logo thing.
Oh, you did on like your profile? Does it actually flash?
Yeah, like here, I'll type in chat, and then hover over my name, or hover over my whatever I wrote. It's RGB. Oh, it doesn't work on. Yeah, it might not work on the phone. I think if you go to my profile on your phone, it'll work. So there we go, guys. We got this mostly together, and as I said, that's just like the first layer of glue, because now I'll actually take the time to re-glue every seam over again. Not only on the inside. Once I get the inside done, then I start gluing the seams on the outside and sanding it down. And once I get everything all squared up, then you just put the top on. And in the video you saw me, I had it just laying flat like this. I really just took my little measuring device here, and I knew that this is 1 centimeter inset, or 10 millimeters inset, and so I just kind of measured it all the way around as the glue was drying and just held it in place. I eventually used some clamps to clamp it together for a while, but after that it's just gluing it a few times and then taking the heavier weight stuff and going around the edge one more time just to make sure. That's probably completely unnecessary too, but as I said, I'd rather it just not leak. I haven't had one leak yet, so I think I'll just keep it up. Glue's not that expensive. PC components are, though. So,
well, Matt's
especially these days.
The free stuff, so, you
know. Oh, shut up. So, let's see. There we go. I guess now this one's mostly set up. You still want to be careful with it. This stuff, so it says actually on these cans and whatnot how long it takes. So it says working time is 1 to 2 minutes, fixture time is 3, and 80% strength is 72 hours. So this stuff actually takes quite a while to set up completely. Although after a good 12 to 24 hours, it's plenty strong to start sanding it and even tapping ports. This stuff, the thicker stuff, working time is 5 to 6 minutes. Fixture time is 10, and 80% strength is only in 24 hours. So this stuff actually sets up faster, although it's a little thicker glue. So I'll show you guys how I'm actually putting this in my test bench, or that one at least, because I have that one done. And like I said, I just hope this is set up enough. I'll put this off to the side, let it dry more. I'll be finishing this one up within the next day here, and hopefully tomorrow night I'll be painting these, and that's when I'll be able to finish up that actual how-to video for you guys. You can see it from, you know, just as I showed you guys there at the beginning, the drawing of the reservoir itself to an actual reservoir. And once it's painted, it'll look pretty clean in my opinion. So let me grab the test bench here. It's rather large if you guys haven't seen it yet.
Are we not doing phrasing anymore?
No, we're not. Andrew's not here.
Rip. Damn mean master can't even make it to the stream.
Okay, so I gotta adjust this camera, I think. Yeah, the mean master didn't make it. He said he was going to the post office or something. So, see if I can get you guys a good angle.
I think he's shipping that crazy, ridiculous rig off today.
Is he really? No, he's shipping off the CPU for it to get delivered. So, I just cut out the 2 square holes already for these reservoirs. So it just kind of slides right in, and all these holes I had Jeremy cut out to be 3 millimeters. I just specified the dimensions, and he just cut them out. If you can evenly space your holes and whatnot, you can tell Jeremy the same thing, and he'll cut those out for you. So, being that they're 3 millimeters, I just use M3 button head screws, as I do in a lot of my projects. And I just used, it's a 7/64 drill bit is what I used to drill in the aluminum, and then I tapped it with a little M3 tap here, which is also just another cheap tap with a cheap tap wrench. And it actually goes in pretty nicely. There's way too many screws. You wouldn't need to have like all of these around it, because the screws aren't what seals the reservoirs, whereas like when you get those CNC ones, they actually do use O-rings, and the screws actually compress it all together. So yeah, those, you do need a lot of screws to keep the pressure even. But as you can see here, I'll just get the corner ones in. But it goes in real easy and would be easy to remove as well.
So you don't need a nut on the other side in order to catch the screw?
No, I tapped the aluminum.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, if you're just going to like a thin case panel, sure, you can use a nut on the other side. That's what I did on the other one, because I put it in the Define S or whatever, so I just bolted it through. But like getting under here and like holding all the nuts, I figured it'd be a pain in the butt. So I was like, I have a tap, why not just tap the holes? It's 2 mil aluminum, so there's enough material there for the screw to grab. But that's kind of how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys followed along and at least understood the process. Hopefully isn't too complicated. That how-to video that I get up soon will hopefully answer any questions you don't have. Yeah, we do have a Discord, Shane. Here, let me link you the Discord.
Directions weren't clear enough. I think got caught in the ceiling fan.
What's that?
Which one?
I don't know, both of you were saying weird stuff. So, there you go, I linked to the Discord. Definitely, you guys, stop in. If you guys want to make one of these, as I said, you can hit me up. I'm in Discord all day, and you guys can just email me, matt@performancepcs.com. Facebook's another place to reach me. If you guys have any like ambition to make one of these reservoirs as well, I would love to help you guys figure out how and what you need. Yeah, no problem, Shane. Hopefully see you soon in there. But other than that, guys, definitely keep your eyes out for that video. Next Monday at 7 p.m. I'll be doing some custom fangirls. I made a post earlier in the week about the fan cutouts for my test bench in the back. That it's really hard to cut a perfect circle, so I just figured I'd make some custom fangirls that we could get cut at the laser, same way that I got these reservoirs cut, and I could just go through the design, and then we'll get those sent up here and bolt those on there and clean up the holes that I made. Just kind of a little trick I figured.
Custom fan girls?
Girls? No, I'm not making custom fan girls. See you later, Kyle. I think he headed out a little while ago. But I shall be heading off too as well. But I hope you guys liked the stream tonight. I tried to keep it kind of just interesting and to the point. We've got this reservoir mostly put together, to be honest. Now it's just a lot of elbow grease after the top goes on. So just stay tuned for more of that. I'll be posting pictures as I go in PPCs as well as that video. So I appreciate everybody who stopped out to see it live tonight, and I'll catch you guys all on Monday. Have a great weekend and happy modding.